wasn't as bad as I thought, or maybe it was. I don't know, it hurts a little bit. Carson, look at this camera. Look at the camera. Good morning, walking into the gym, and today we are doing a little bit more of like a competitor's workout. So sometimes on Saturdays in the past, when I was at Diablo CrossFit, we had a competitor's program there. But at this gym, we have a group of people that sometimes get together to do like a little bit of a souped up version of the class workout and some extra stuff. So that's what we're heading to the gym to do, and I'm taking you with me.
Here we go. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Okay, what you just saw there was I had no idea the workout was about to start. I was going over to get some chalk, and in that moment, I noticed the clock was starting and it was about to be time to start the workout. So I went back to my bar. You saw my face there. Let's talk about the workout, since that's what's happening on your screen right now. So this workout kind of reminds me of something that could be an open workout. We've had some similar open workouts to this in the past. This is 4-time 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 of bar-facing burpees and then thrusters. The weight was 115/85, so heavier than what we've seen in the open before for this style of a workout. And there was a 10-minute cap. I had the intention of probably just get time capped. For me, heavy thrusters, not my thing. So I was like, let's just see if I can survive and not go down to singles, and I end up doing both those things, both surviving and not going down to singles. But if you're going to try this workout, it is a heavier barbell than what we usually see for this type of thruster workout. You could scale it down to 65/95, would still be a very good workout. It could be very similar to what you're seeing me do if 65/95 is more of a moderate weight for you, or if you're pretty strong, you just want to try it at 65/95, it'll be more of a race, less pacing, because you'll be able to move that bar quickly. But for me, it was definitely trying to maintain things so that I don't blow up, because it's a moderate thruster for me. So you can see my burpees. I step up each time, like into a lunge, it almost looks like. You'll see it right there. Yeah, just like a little bring the one foot up to the bar so that I'm already closer, just have to step and then jump. I still sort of do the regular jump. You'll see some other people do this kind of step over thing, which is technically allowed. It's just both of your feet have to be off the ground at the same time. In the past, you had to jump and you actually had to have both feet take off at the same time too. That's no longer a rule. So a lot of people do the stepping. It should be easier cardiovascularly. I just always default to doing the normal jump, because I did that for so many years prior to CrossFit changing the standard. And who says the standard won't go back? So, when I remember to switch it and do the step, I try to practice it, but the jump is always going to be safe. You can see my friend Zach here on the side. He's one of the coaches. He is doing the step up version, like less of a jump and more of using less taking off and more just a step over the bar, but both of your feet are off the ground at the same time. So it does qualify, but it saves you a little bit of fatigue. So definitely something worth doing if you're good at it. I am not. So still working on these thrusters. For me, like I said, just surviving, trying to keep doubles at the very least. And then right back into the burpees. The burpees for me in this workout are the rest. They're the time that I get to be like, I just got to move. And it's weird, actually, when we've done this in the open, I believe, a similar style workout, bar-facing burpees and thrusters, it's usually the thruster first, I believe, and then you end on the burpee, where this is the burpee first and you end on the thruster. It's an interesting change, because I feel like at the end of a workout, you can always do another burpee. You're like not going to fail a burpee. It's falling on the ground and getting up. Falling on the ground is basically almost a fail, except it's part of the movement. So like you're never going to not be able to do a burpee. You're never going to not be able to fall down and get up. Those are things you want to always be able to do. It's kind of why we do burpees, so that as you get older, if you fall, you can get back up. So it's easy to push that at the end of a workout and like really just empty the tank there. But on a heavy thruster, you could fail that. You could end up more push jerking it versus actually thrustering it. Like there's a lot of ways for that movement to like, you don't need time on it. So it's a really different approach when you have to end on the thruster versus ending on the burpee and you can really just send it. So it was an interesting thing. You do have to save yourself a little bit more and not empty the tank as soon, because lifting just takes a little bit more, at least for me, than doing a burpee. It's definitely something I suggest trying, because I don't think I've ever really ended intentionally with a thruster. I may have ended with a thruster because I've been time capped, but not really ever because it was the end of the workout. I feel like thrusters are usually in the middle or at the beginning. So it's definitely just a different thing. And I think it's always a good idea to try different things. I've mentioned this in the past, but we use jump ship training at my gym here. And this is, I believe, like the main jump ship training programming that some of the other people at my gym follow. In class, we follow the class version of the programming. But some people, the owners, some of the coaches do the normal like competitor version of the programming, which is what we're doing today. So there are more elements after the workout and some lifting. There's like more accessory stuff, which is always good to get in when you can. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is a longer session, a day that I had the time to do a longer session and work out with some people where I finished last. I think it's always good to have an experience where you're not going to be one of the best people. In a regular class, I'm not necessarily the best, but I'm usually, in the top quarter of the class, top 10% even of the class sometimes, depending on who shows up. But with this group of the people, I am last. And it's kind of the thing where you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because that's where you get challenged. So here, definitely not the fittest person in the room, but it's an opportunity to get better. And there are some really great squatters in this room. There was a woman who was also working out, very, very strong squatter. So for me, that's my weakness. So I loaded up the 85. I could have went down to 65 and been like, hey, this isn't a good movement for me. But I decided, let's do it. Let's send it. And if I finish under the time cap, then I did it right. So this is the last set. This is a set of 15, I believe, of the thrusters. And that's an important aspect to remember, I think, for a lot of people in their training. When there's a time cap, you want to finish under the time cap. That should probably be your goal in your scaling, but you don't want to overscale it. So it's like, as long as you're finishing under the time cap, then you probably scaled it the best way. You want to get as close to the prescribed weight where you're able to move in a way that's beneficial for your body, that's not going to injure you, but is going to create the intended stimulus. So this was meant to have a time cap of 10 minutes. So if you chose a weight that was going to put you nowhere near finishing at 10 minutes, you didn't scale properly. If you chose a weight that's less than the prescribed weight and you finish in 5 minutes, then you also didn't scale properly. Now, if you're someone who is just really strong at these movements and finishes in 5 minutes because you're super fit, excellent, that's fine. But you want to scale so that you're finishing within the time cap in the right space of time. You want to eventually be able to do things, at least I want to eventually be able to do things as prescribed. That's my goal. Doesn't have to be everyone's goal, but if you want to strive to do that, you have to do the weight that is the closest to the prescribed weight you can, getting the intended stimulus. So here I am suffering. If you take a closer look at my face during some of these snatches, it's not great, but we're getting through it. We're grinding, we're improving, we're challenging ourselves, and we're finishing. We are done. We are going to meet the floor and take off these knee sleeves. It's always funny to watch yourself back and be like, what's the first thing I do after finishing a workout? Get on the ground and just try to breathe. But did it and proud. That's what's important. Sweating more now than I was during the workout. Next part now. So that workout, not enough squatting. We gotta throw in some more. We have a squat, clean and jerk emom followed into a build to a heavy. So you got a 10-minute emom building. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I built to a heavy single. So I started with the weight that we used for the workout and then just sort of built up to something that was moderately heavy for me. I wanted to make my lift. Some other people built to the point where they failed, which is definitely something worth doing from time to time. But this was my final lift right here, and it looks hard getting out of that squat. And I'm like, what's the point of me failing the next weight? So I just did this, was successful, and then I'm gonna do the jerk. The jerk is not my problem. My problem is the squat. So I wasn't worried about getting it over my head. And then finally, we have some more cardio to end the day. So it is 1 minute on, 1 minute off on the bike erg until you reach 200 calories for men and 160 calories for women. So this took me into the 16-minute mark. So, you know, a while. So I went from 0 to 1, then rested from 101 to like 159, 2 minutes. Yeah, you get it. And just hit those calories as hard as possible. Let me tell you, after doing those thrusters and those squat clean and jerks, your quads are on fire. But also I had a thought while doing this that maybe this is what I need, because I definitely lack some quad strength. I tend to like have my butt go up in lifts, trying to use more of that posterior train instead of coming into my quads. So maybe I need some bike erg sprints so that I can do better at using my quads. I don't know. And now I'm adjusting the bike. This was my first round, but it went on for a while. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but wanted to give you just a taste and an idea of something you can do at home if you want to do a similar to workout to what you see here and a similar day, so you can feel that quad burn too. You're welcome. I'm so sweaty, and I live in the Bay Area, so arguably it's not even ever that hot here, but it feels hot right now. What is the temperature? Let's see. Oh my God, it says 68. That is not very hot. I don't know why I'm so sweaty. Oh, humidity. Humidity 73%. Maybe that's significant, right? I don't know. Let's hope so. That was so hard. That was so much harder than I thought it was gonna be. So much quads, and I guess all the squatting. We used a lot of quads before this, so rough workout. I'm gonna need my protein. I buy these things because I'm lazy and they're fast to grab and super expensive and a waste of my money, but they're tasty. So yeah, we're gonna head home. I'm gonna check it on Carson. He has some news, and that'll be it. So see you in a few minutes. A few seconds for you, and a few seconds. All right, so Carson here has a cone, if you can see. He had a little surgery, just a small thing. So he wants to play. He's obviously fine. He's fine post-surgery, but he had a tiny little mass on his eyelid. It almost looked like he had like a sty in his eye. You could hear him running around. He's feeling better. It is Saturday. He had his little surgery on Wednesday. They use like cryotherapy to freeze it off. Don't hit the camera, buddy. I thought it was a little sty, and it turned out when I brought him to the doctors, because it wasn't going away, that it was a little mass, and they think it's benign, but we're having it biopsied, and he's obviously doing pretty well, has all his energy back, doesn't even really notice the cone except for when he bumps into things. High five. Good boy. Yeah, so he's doing well overall, but did have a little surgery. He did have to be sedated. Well, not under general anesthesia, just a little bit of sedation to make him sleepy. But he's doing good. The little bump that was on his eyelid is now totally gone, and he seems to be feeling good. So hopefully the biopsy comes back negative or like clean or whatever the term is, and everything is all good. But better be cautious rather than let it grow and maybe impact his eye, or he scratches at it and then he scratches his cornea. Like, there's all these things that could have happened. So we just got rid of it early so that he would be safe. Fun workout day, big day. I have work actually after this, so I've got to get ready for work. But fun day. Now to spend a little bit of time with Carson before I head off into work. I'm not sure about the CrossFit Games yet. I hope to be going. I've submitted my media pass application, so fingers crossed that gets approved, and I'll be going down to Dallas-Fort Worth to cover the CrossFit Games. So I will update you once I know about that. If you want to wish Carson some well wishes, you can put those, yeah, you buddy, in the comments, and I'll read those comments to him so he knows that everybody hopes that he gets better soon. Right? Yes? All right, I'll see you in the next one, and I appreciate you all for watching. Bye. Boop. What?